Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is McKay Johns if you're new around here, and today I'm going to be talking about for loops and doing a tutorial on for loops. So we're just going to do a basic tutorial where I kind of describe the syntax of a for loop, and then we'll jump into a more advanced, not like super advanced, just kind of advanced. So if you're new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. I come out with a lot of videos on coding, especially in Python, as well as data analytics, data visualization, data science. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video if this helped you out, and leave a comment. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment, I'll respond to it and help you out with any questions. So let's jump into the tutorial. Okay, so we are going to go over two examples real quick of for loops. We'll go over a simple for loop and just the syntax of what a for loop looks like. And then as well, we will do a more complicated example of a for loop. So we'll start off with simple for loops. So we're in Jupyter Notebooks. We're just going to create a comment called simple for loop. And a for loop, we can really iterate over anything such as a string, a list, a range of numbers, tuples, and dictionaries. So we are just going to do a list. And I like to think of this just as kind of like a grocery list. So we'll call our list, we'll just say grocery. Then we'll make a list and we'll throw in a couple of items, whatever you shop for. So we'll do milk, eggs, bread, soda, I don't know, whatever, cheese. We have these 5 elements in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to run that cell. We're going to say for, so indicating it's a for loop, and then we need to give it the iterator and then what we're going to be iterating over. So for example, we'll say for grocery underscore item. It doesn't need to be grocery underscore item. It can really be anything you want it to be. Like if you want it to be X, if you wanted it to be I, if you want it to be grocery list item, if you wanted it to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. I mean, whatever is easiest for you, but we'll do for grocery item in. So we're just indicating what it's in. So we're going to indicate that it's in the list in grocery. And then the syntax for Python is we say for the iterator in grocery, and then we put a colon. And then after that, we hit enter, and it does it automatically in Jupyter Notebooks, but you need to make sure that the indentation is right. It's 4 spaces from the beginning of the line above it. So usually if you just hit tab, that will do it for you. That'll give you the correct indentation. But basically what we're going to do with this for loop is we're just going to make it really simple. We're just going to use a print statement on grocery item. So what this is doing is it's going to take grocery, the list, and then it's going to run through each instance of this list. So it's for milk, for eggs, for bread, soda, and cheese. And it's going to assume that those are grocery items. And so it's going to print each of those grocery items. So if we run this, it'll kind of show you better what's going on. So it basically just comes out and it prints. It goes through this list and it says, okay, here's our grocery list and we have items in our list. So we're just going to print each item. And so as it goes over, it allows for the code to be repeated across the list. This is a very simple example, but we'll jump into a more complicated example right now. Okay, so a more complicated example would be instead of just printing something out, we can actually multiply things, we can create new variables, we can run a for loop inside of a for loop, we can do if statements inside of a for loop. So what we're going to do is we're just going to show a multiplication example. So we're going to create a new list, we'll call it my list, And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to create a for loop that's going to run over all of these, and it's going to print out the numbers squared. So it's just going to square all the numbers, and then it's going to print it out. So, I mean, it's not too complicated, but it shows you kind of what the iteration is doing. So we're going to create the for loop. So for, and then for an example, we're just going to say x. So for x in my underscore list, and then the colon. So the x I'm using this time just because I could use grocery item again if I wanted to, but I just kind of like to use things that make more sense. So we're going to say for x in my list, and then we're going to hit enter, make sure the indentation's correct, and then we're just going to say print x, and then to square we do 2 asterisks or multiplications in Python, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to square them. You could just square them. And so that basically running that, so that shows us each value. We could as well create like a string. We'd say squared value, and then put it inside of an F string. If you don't know what an F string is, I mean, you can just copy this code and it'll do it. But basically it's just going to say squared value 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. So that is the basics of for loops. There's a lot of things that you can do with for loops. I honestly use for loops a lot in my code whenever I'm coding, whenever I'm trying out new things and messing with new code and experimenting. For loops are really good to be able to loop over values and see exactly what's going on. So this is one of the things that really is a base skill for any sort of Python programmer, data scientist, data analyst, and as well in data visualization, you're going to be using it a lot as well. So I recommend learning this, and as well check out the link in the description. I'll leave a link that is going to from W3 Schools that will go over for loops in even more detail and what can be done with them. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.